Today, I want to share a powerful story from the Bible about faith, courage, and trusting God even in difficult times. It is the story of Jesus and Peter walking on water during a stormy night. The story is found in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 14. After feeding thousands of people, Jesus told his disciples to get into a boat and cross the sea while he stayed behind to pray. As night came, the disciples found themselves in the middle of a terrible storm. The wind was strong, the waves were crashing against the boat, and fear filled their hearts. Then something amazing happened. In the middle of the storm, Jesus came walking toward them on the water. Imagine seeing someone walking on the sea during a storm. The disciples were terrified. They thought it was a ghost, but Jesus spoke to them and said, "Take courage. It is I, don't be afraid." Among the disciples was Peter, known for his boldness. Peter answered Jesus and said, "Lord, if it is really you, tell me to come to you on the water." And Jesus said one simple word, "Come." Peter stepped out of the boat. Think about that moment. The storm was still raging. The wind had not stopped. The waves were still high. Yet Peter chose faith over fear. Step by step, he began walking on water toward Jesus. But after a while, Peter looked around at the storm. He saw the strong wind and the dangerous waves. Fear entered his heart, and he began to sink. Immediately he cried out, "Lord, save me." Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. Then Jesus said, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" This story teaches us an important lesson about faith in our lives today. Life can sometimes feel like a stormy sea. We face problems at school, at work, in our families, with our health, finances, or dreams. Sometimes fear, anxiety, and doubt surround us just like the waves surrounded Peter. But the message of this story is clear. When we keep our eyes on Jesus and trust Him, we can overcome challenges that seem impossible. Faith does not mean the storm disappears immediately. Notice that the storm was still there when Peter stepped out of the boat. Faith means trusting God even while the storm is happening. Many people today are sinking because they focus more on fear than on faith. Fear says you cannot make it. Doubt says you will fail. But faith says, with God all things are possible. Peter only began to sink when he stopped focusing on Jesus and focused on the storm. The same happens to us. When we focus only on our problems, we become discouraged. But when we focus on God's power, we find strength and hope. Another beautiful lesson is that even when Peter doubted, Jesus did not abandon him. The moment Peter cried for help, Jesus reached out his hand. This reminds us that God is always ready to help us when we call on Him.